Hello, everybody, and welcome to Keep It Spiritually Simple. I'm your host, Sandra McEllis. And before we introduce our beautiful guest, I just really would love for everyone to join us in a like, subscribe, share, comment, even leave us a question. Who knows? It might get answered on the next episode. Well, today I have a very special guest and someone who's become a friend, and her name is Devera Thunderbeat. She's got tons of things to share, but right now we're going to start with something that's sort of like on the tip of people's tongues and everyone wants to know. So, how are you, Devera?
Oh, great, great. Just been working it for the planet, and that's what I do. And doing a lot of high frequency work, which is needed. I'm a musician all my life, and I have many sound healing CDs out, so they are helping a lot of people. So if anybody needs to adjust their frequency and raise it, and they're stuck, let's say they're feeling, oh God, I'm very depressed. I can't get out of this low frequency slump. You can go and listen for free on my website. It's called SiriusStargate.com. That's Sirius, like the planet, SiriusStargate.com. And you can listen to all my music there. And I have like an activation CD that raises your frequency. The number one chakra CD in the country is on there. I am voted number one with oh God, it's the New York Institute,
Monroe Institute.
the Monroe Institute. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it's just such
No,
a
I
big
remember because I know.
for 17 years. It's like woo woo. All
Yes.
right, so because I've been, that I don't take all the credit for that because Archangel Gabriel helped me with that.
Mm.
He gave me the tones. Archangel Gabriel is a musician. He is a horn player. Come blow your horn, Gabriel, right? So he gave me the tones and he was just, mesmerizing. And so that's my chakra CD. And then I've used those tones with throughout my other work. So yeah. So I'd like to talk about AI Atlas and some updates on that. Yes, it is a ship. It's an ancient, they call it an ancient ship because it comes, from millions of miles away. And it is here helping it. It's lined itself up to raise the frequency of each of the planets in our solar system, not just Earth. Okay. So it did if anybody was following it, it began as a red star or red comet. They called it a comet. Well, the ancient prophecy of the Hopi ancient prophecy, they talk about the blue star Kachina and they talk about the red star Kachina. And the blue star Kachina already has come, but the red star has not, and this is the red star.
Wow.
So,
So
yeah.
before you go on with the Red Star, could you tell the viewers just a little bit about when the Blue Star one came? And I don't think it was in our lifetime. Is that correct?
No, it was.
Ooh,
Hmm, uh, wow. It's probably about 14, 15 years ago.
okay.
I remember that, and then we were all talking about it. The Hopi, I know the Hopi, they are only 2 hours from where I live, their reservation, and I know a few of the shamans, and so yeah, there was a big buzz going on at that time, about 14, 15 years ago, about the blue Kachina coming in, and it was there, I saw it in the sky, you know. Um, so this is the Red Star Kachina, and the prophecy of the Red Star Kachina is to rid of the destruction of things on planets, to rid the negativity, let's say, the red star. So it came in as red star, which was really interesting. It came in red, and then when it passed by Mars, it turned green. Now, green is the color of the heart chakra, healing. So green is healing and love. So it actually blasted. I don't like the word blasted, but it covered Mars with the color green. Yes. So it did a lot of healing there. I just got goosebumps and
Yeah,
God
so did
bumps on
I.
that one. So that's is really what's going on. It's doing a lot of healing because there's a lot of negativity on that planet. They even call it the war planet. So
Yes.
so it's so it passed there and it did a huge it's just sending love frequencies. We're not, they're not about war and hurting and anything like that. So then now it's behind the sun. And what it's doing behind the sun, which is directly uh, lines up with Earth, so it's behind the sun, giving light codes through the sun to Earth. So that was starting October 16th. So if anybody got any like sacred geometry, light codes or colors coming in, that was from the codes from AI Atlas, going through utilizing the sun and sending them here to Earth. So now that next step they're going to be doing, so that's going to be they're going to be working on that for a while. And but the next step they're doing is Venus. So Venus and some of the parts of Venus got infiltrated. Venus is the star of love. So it's cleaning up the whole our whole solar system. Um, and just to let people know, with the solar flares and all that, they're all positive. They're being utilized in higher frequencies to raise the frequencies of our planet when they hit Earth. So it's really positive things. Don't listen to any of that doom and gloom crap. It's all lies. They want to keep you in fear, to keep you under control. So no, these are they I'm going to tell you, I work with Ashtar Command, the Raw Group, and the Federal um, Galactic Federation of Light, and they're all working together with the sun rays and the sun flares to rid the old and bring in the new. Let's put it that way, and bring in the higher frequency, the cleansiness, and it's the golden light. It's the golden light of Christ. So it's the golden light.
Well, I haven't said anything to anyone because I don't like to get too much information. And this topic I haven't really talked about with many people at all. Um, it just doesn't come up. And Spirit had shown me, when I heard about it, it just showed me that it was celestial, number
Yep.
one. And two, not that it was a ship and not that it was this and not that it was that, that it was definitely God sparked, celestial, and like it was crop dusting love. So it
Hmm.
was specifically going in its order of planets and around its planets in a way that was sending waves of loving energy. So when
Hmm.
you said we're saying that, I was literally sitting here and my second chakra was going, and I'm like,
Purring.
I want to get excited, but it is what it is, right? Um, but it's nice to hear another perspective because there are people out here, because NASA has not posted all the things that it would normally post on an event like this, scientific event. And there's a reason why they're not doing it because, well, whatever. But so there's a lot of people posting out things that they're claiming this or claiming that, and a lot of it does have some fear to it.
Mm.
And they're even getting like Harvard physicists, but there's not a lot of people really truly
Gonna roll my
scientifically
eyes.
talking about it, right? What'd you do?
I said I'm rolling my eyes on the negative because the
Okay.
NASA, look how paranoid NASA is. They shut their cameras down. They did that on purpose
Yes. And has
because
nothing to do with the furlough. Nothing. It's an independent agency. So it has
yeah.
nothing to do with the furlough.
So, but the point is, they didn't want us to see, what's going on,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
so it's because
So
it is positive.
So, and then I thought it was interesting too when I think it was going past. I think I heard somebody say, "Oh, well, it's going to hit this, and then it's going to hit Mars, and then it's going to hit Venus, and then I think December, January, or something, it's going to be Jupiter." And when I heard that little sound bite somewhere, that's when I got this download, and I just saw this vision of it just going where it needs to go in the pattern that it needs to go in, the speed that it needs to go in. And it was just dusting, like crop. I just called it crop dusting. And
Mhm.
it was love. It was energetic waves of love to adjust, calibrate, and bring higher frequencies to
Mhm.
each of those places and spaces in our solar system.
Exactly. You got it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Exactly what's going on.
Well, it's nice to know I'm getting similar downloads. So I feel more connected than I thought I was, because there are times where we doubt each other, right? At least I do. I'm like, it doesn't know. How come I'm the only one getting that? Well, it's because I don't reach too far for confirmation. So it is what it is. So what
Well, I
else would you
tune.
like to talk about
I
with that?
I could tune in and I can talk to them. So, um, well, I'd like to mention and talk about, since it is time for all of us to raise our frequency and awareness and consciousness. So I want to tell everybody that doesn't know, I've been doing the a 22 DNA code, light code activation. I embed 22 golden light codes into people to help them remember who they are and why they are here. It is a session that I do. I've been doing that, been initiated in 2010. I think it's been through actually with Archangel Metatron. He is an angel that came to me, and I call him a lord. He's really a powerful guy. And he came to me actually in the 90s, late 90s, and he said, "Your number is 202-2030." And I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, he's vibrating my head and he's like, this is my number. I was reading, actually at that time I was reading The Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak, and at that time, and I'm going, what is he talking about? And then I realized those numbers were in that book. So I looked him up, and it was all about the 22 DNA RNA golden light codes. And I said, okay. And I still didn't understand it until um, I met a lady that does the activation. She was 84 years old, doing this work for 50 years. And I said, I'm supposed to have that. I don't know why I'm supposed to have that activation. And as soon as I got the activation, I said, I'm supposed to do this work. And she goes, there's only 12 people that are allowed, that are initiated and allowed to do this work. I said, I'm telling you, I'm supposed to do it. She goes, okay, well, I'm going to contact the Federation of Light and see and the Brotherhood of Light to see if you're supposed to. Well, she calls me at 7 o'clock the next morning and she goes, "Oh my God, this is one of the reasons why you came in. She could to do this work." I said, "Okay, well, now the pieces of the puzzle are coming together because now I know what Metatron was talking about, my numbers and all this." Anyway, I'm very honored to do this work. And all I embed the golden light codes of helping you remember who you are in the session. It helps you actually start, well, your expands your awareness, your psychic abilities, your clairvoyance, your past lives. You start remembering your past lives of who you are, and you have all this knowledge. You start downloading all this knowledge. You're having all this epiphanies, going, I don't know how I know this. I just know this. I didn't study any of this. That is your DNA being awoken, because you got so much in there that from many, many, many lifetimes. And the 22 is a very high frequency. It's not just 12. We have probably five, maybe four or five activated on the most of the people on the planet. Some of the star seeds are up to seven, been tuning in, but only seven, not even 12. The I'm gonna call it the old paradigm, the old they kind of after Atlantis kind of squashed our DNA. So they shut us down. So they and we started if you look at some of the history books, they used to live to 700 to 900 years old. We're talking about Noah and not sure, not Moses, but Noah and all that family there. There was a lot of people in that family. Um, Enoch, Enoch was part of it, and Enoch's supposed to be Metatron. This is what I keep hearing. So, but so they after the flood of Atlantis, what happened was they subdued us, which was the Anunnaki, subdued us and our memory and everything and our lifespan. So this helps you with diseases. It raises your frequency so high that disease cannot live in your body. Your gifts will start to appear that you didn't know you have, like your creative ideas, your creative projects. For example, with me, I'm a musician, and I was in rock bands for 20 years in New York City, playing full drum set. All right. A lot of people don't know that part because they don't talk about it a lot. But because I shifted in the 2000, I shifted over to the higher frequencies of spiritual music and all that. Um, but when I got activated, that's when I started going. I went solo and I started writing all this music that I didn't know I could do. I didn't know I could write. I mean, I was performing and playing in all original bands, yes, and being creative, but not writing the songs. I was working with many writers, um, songwriters, and um, it was like instant. I was like, oh my God, I could do this. So that was right after I got activated on my 22 DNA activation. Carolyn, beautiful lady, 84, she's passed now. And I'm just feeling honored that I can carry on this work for the people on the planet. And there's so much more information on it. You can go to my website, thunderbeat.com, and click on the 22 DNA session, and it'll give you the full rundown. And I can do the sessions over the internet or in person, whatever you like. And they're only 272. They're not very expensive, and it's a lifetime activation. Once you do this, you don't do any other DNA. You're done for life. So it is a lifetime activation. And we do a lot of repairing on your damaged DNA, which everyone has from bad water, bad food, bad air, so that is taken care of. And like I said, I'm just honored to do this work.
Well, it's a very powerful session because we had one a couple years ago.
Mhm.
And, what I really liked about it was it didn't knock me off my feet. It was meaning like I didn't have to have a lot of days of recuperation. You know
No.
what I mean? Because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And I could feel like when it would go quiet and then it would activate more. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And then even now I can see where little light bulbs come up from that session,
Yes.
years later. And
Yes.
so it's like all of a sudden another floating barge of minutia in past lives will come flowing up. I don't know. This just a vision I just got was like this barge full of crap coming through Sandy's brain, with a whole lot of stuff going, hey, we're leaving you now. We just want to show you this, and that. And then we're going over the waterfall. We're gone. We're done. We've left you. It's no longer in your DNA.
Well, it
So
does.
it's a very powerful session.
Yeah, because if it did happen all at once, you would implode. So it does take
Yes.
about 2 to 3 years for a person to be fully activated with the 22, which is nice, and it always seems to come in at the perfect timing. It's a powerful, but it's gentle. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes, but there I've had sessions before where it's been like, I'm off kilter for a few days, but as powerful as this is, it still allowed me to coast with grace and ease. And then it would periodically, I just knew when you can't really call it a flare up, but it would be like, whoa, here we go, surging forward again. Ooh, surge, do surge, back and
Yeah,
forth. And if anyone's watching on YouTube, I'm raising my body up and down. So a
yeah,
lot of people are listening on, Spotify and iHeart and stuff, so they can only hear our voices. But if they want to see the real animated us, get over here to YouTube and see us.
right. This
Yeah,
this session, the 22 DNA, this session is very ancient. It is from the Keys of Enoch. From Enoch, remember, they took Enoch out of the Bible. They didn't want anybody to know this information, so they didn't want anybody to be awake. So this is the knowledge from Enoch,
yeah.
and we're going back, a long time ago. So
Well, we also have to know that Enoch lived different lives before that and had to go through what he went through in order to become what he has become now in the spirit
oh yeah.
world.
Hmm.
So, let's talk a little bit about your background as far as like the shamanic work that you do, and the stuff that you do for the earth, for the healing of the earth, because you live and breathe this work every single day, and you've created things that people can come to Sedona, Arizona to enjoy. And
Hmm.
your tours and sessions and conferences and things like that. And so those are things for people to do. But for you yourself, on a daily basis, what does Devera do? What is she really committed to doing every single solitary day?
Working on new projects. That excites me. Um, yeah, I'm working on the documentary since I found ancient Egypt here in Sedona, Arizona. Working on a documentary on that, a 10-part series. So
Nice.
that's exciting. And then I'm working on my um, refining my book's script for a movie of my ET and angel encounters since the
Yes.
age of 4.
Yes.
So that's what I've been working on, and I have other projects that a theatrical show. So this is what excites me, is the creativity and being creative and raising the frequency. All of that raises the awareness and frequency of the people on the planet. So that's why I get so excited about all the projects, and it's the stuff that I personally have experienced. So
Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
sometimes we have to experience it for it to be in our visceral, for us to share it in an even deeper meaning for other
Hmm.
people than just see something that's been created, replicate it, and take it out there. It's
Right.
different when we're experiencing it, because I know you've had personal encounters,
Hmm.
and I know the music comes through you in a very different way because
Oh
I've
yeah.
heard you play, and it's amazing. And I've also heard your music on Sirius Gate. What is it, SiriusGate.com? Or
Serious
what?
Stargate.
Sirius Stargate.
Yeah.
I know even after our session, I listened to that like repeatedly. Like I'd go in and ask Spirit, which one should I listen to now? Because you offer a bundle of them so you can listen to them free, right?
Yeah.
And then if you want to pay and download, you can. But I picked and choose different ones to listen to for months after that session, just to
Hmm.
keep things rolling and moving, because I was very dedicated to clearing out my DNA. and to
Yeah.
be and to be because some people will have a session, they may take a day or two, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone, it's out of their life, they go back to their regular routine. But I'm into deep diving into all of me so I can be the better me, the more authentic God source me, than just the me 9 to 5 jobs, you know,
Right.
positions that I have in the world today that support me. But my inner heart mission is my most important. And you're doing that every day in Sedona. So, you mentioned Egypt and Sedona. And I know I was out there with you for your conference. and I got to see a little bit of it on my own. I unfortunately didn't have time for the tour, but a lot of people really loved it. So you want to tell the viewers just a little bit about this, because some people are planning a trip out there. So I want them to know so they can contact you.
Well, the best thing is to go on my website because that would take about a half hour, 45
Okay.
minutes to tell about everything. We can actually do another show if you'd like,
Oh, that would be great.
and I can send you pictures and everything. If we can, or somehow get the pictures up to show you the proof. I have found 14 carvings, statues, whatever you want to call them, of ancient Egypt. And Spirit has guided me towards that. And what is fascinating is, well, I've been studying Egypt for over 30 years. I remember my past lives in Egypt. So, and I've been to Egypt. I just got back this year from Egypt. I've been there many times. So I definitely have a major connection there. So that's, I think, because people, it was just started like 25 years ago when I moved here. And then I started offering the tours about, I don't know, 10 years later. And then I put a book out. I wasn't even planning to do a book. I was just taking all these pictures and going, oh my God, this is like, there's more than just ancient Egypt here. There's kings and queens. I found Atlantis stuff here. I mean, it's in many cultures, Kuan Yin, Ganesh. It's just mind blowing. It still blows my mind. But what the funny thing is, when I put the advertisements out for the tour, the drive tour, the first six people who called me up were people that lived here for 20 years. And they said, "Where is that? I've been here 20 years. I don't know. I've never seen that before." So they took my tour and I blew their mind. They go, "Oh my God, it's there standing in plain sight."
Mhm.
In plain, it's plain sight. You just don't, people don't look at rocks the way I do. And that's from my Native American heritage of my uncle teaching me. He would always say, when you see the faces in the rocks, you see it, those are the ancient ones and the ancient knowledge. So I would always look at rocks differently and, tune in with my third eye and get the downloads of ancient knowledge. And I'm like, oh my God, look, there's sphinxes here. I found like six sphinxes. I'm like, what? You know, and we got Anubis, we got Isis, we got Ra, we have oh my God, we have Osiris, we got Set, Nephthys, Hathor, Akhenaten. Akhenaten came to me. I actually said, Akhenaten. I said, "You're a pharaoh. You're next to all these gods and goddesses." He goes, and he talks to me, and he goes, "I am much older than they say I am." And this is how he speaks. And I'm like, okay. And I got a perfect picture of him. God, I wish I could show you. I don't have it handy, but it is on my website, thunderbeat.com. You can scroll down to Faces in the Rocks book, and they have pictures there, and then it has the tours you can purchase, and yeah, they're 2 hour tours, so they're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Well, I bring it up because people have got to book. Because when I came out there in March and I was in Prescott, near Prescott, and I called you and or texted you and said, "Hey, what's up with this or that?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm booked. You can't." I was like, "What? I can't even get on the tour." Because I didn't, you were so booked up. I didn't even, get to give you notice. Even this last time, you were very booked up through the
Yes,
conference and their prior and post conference. So
yes,
anyone who is planning a trip in Sedona or around that area, I suggest you get pre-booked,
yes,
because it's well worth it. And when you
yes,
see the pictures in the book, you're like, holy wow. I mean, how do you have so many highly spirited, spiritual anarchies, if for lack of a better expression, in these rocks that you would just normally be like, yeah, and then all of a sudden you look back, you're like, what? It's
yeah,
so clear. It's so clear. How do you miss it? But we do.
yeah.
We
Well,
do, because people come there for different experiences, not thinking they're going to see, they're looking to feel a shift, right?
right, yeah. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, the tour guides don't know the rock formations. They've seen my book and they go, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Where is all this?" They don't even know that some of the tour guide companies here, but it is like I said, they're hidden in plain sight, and it's like a library here. That's what I figured. I go, this is a library here of ancient knowledge. Because I've been, even the Grand Canyon, I don't see as much faces there, or I've been to other, like Utah is full of rocks and major energies up there, and I don't see even half of what I see here. It's
Mm.
something about here that is, I consider it an ancient library.
Yeah, it's not. I want to say magical, but it's honestly very mystical.
Yeah,
There
both.
there there's a very mystical theology there. We're not
Yes,
even
very.
theology, a history of things that we're just very faintly even aware of, because as
Yeah.
we know, the stories have been told and distorted, right? You
Oh
don't have
yeah.
to go to Egypt to experience this. If you live in the States, you can go to Sedona and
Right.
really experience it, right?
Yes.
Um, and that's just wild that you do all this work and you're bringing all these things to the general public so that they can experience it, and all for the purpose of raising vibration, raising awareness, taking
Mm-hmm.
responsibility and accountability for thyself. Um, and sometimes we need to have a little mystical experience to sort of nudge us down the pathway in a different direction
Mm-hmm.
so we
To open
become
up,
more enlightened and loving.
yes, open up more doorways of seeing.
Yes, because the more we open that up, then the more we have, you know,
Awareness.
awareness, but the more we listen to the messages of self, right?
Mhm.
Which is God, the God,
Yeah.
God goddess within us.
Hmm.
So it's all beautiful. Well, is there anything else you want to share before we skedaddle? Because I know you're going to come back on. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about all kinds of things that you're up to.
No, just yeah, go to the website, and if anybody has any questions, they can email me and go from there.
Yes, and I will have all of your links in the description below. So everybody, please take a moment to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment. And again, if you have a question for Devera, we can just answer that on the next show. And I suggest you do that if you go to my YouTube, which is Sandra McEllis. And everything else is Keep It Spiritually Simple. But it's just easier if you leave me one there because I get easier access to the questions there underneath the video. Plus, each comment helps the algorithm, helps the video shift and move. So anything else you want to share today, darling? Because I know you've got a busy schedule.
Nope, just sending peace, love, and happiness, joy.
Yes, and if you get an opportunity, get to SiriusStargate.com, listen to some of that music. It's going to invoke awakening
Yeah.
for sure. I promise you. All right, stay put, Devera, but you can say goodbye.
All right. Many blessings.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you on the next show.
Bye bye.